Hey everybody, sorry about that delay there. Ron Harris here. Very long day. My son competed, but the Pittsburgh Pro just ended and the placings were exactly as I predicted them, exactly as a lot of people had predicted them. However, the placings don't reflect how close it really was. This is what we ended up with. Derek definitely did win. It was a win. I'm waiting to see the score sheet. I'm guessing that Nick Walker had to have a couple first place votes. He looked fantastic. I did find somebody that streamed the show on their YouTube channel. I'm not going to put them on blast because I'm using their footage myself. So here was your top four. Okay, got Martin there. Martin looked pretty damn good. Can't say he didn't. Bonac, I think, surprised people, looked better than expected to, but Nick Walker was the real surprise of the show. We hadn't seen Nick on stage since a year ago at the New York Pro. And I was not overly impressed with that Nick Walker. I was there at the show, and I thought Martin had him beat at that show, to be honest with you. This time, Martin wasn't close to Nick. Nick almost beat Derek. Sheer mass. Of course, we knew he was going to be a lot bigger than Derek, and he was. Derek's main issue with this show, exactly what happened at the Olympia to a lesser extent. We saw the legs, the quads in particular, lose some fullness, particularly that same quad. It's his right quad. It's not an injury or anything like that. I personally believe what happens is the longer he's in prep, the harder he pushes the prep and the cardio, especially. I suspect he loses some of his legs during that. Nick has never been known for having great legs, for great quads, I should say, because from the side they're phenomenal. But I don't think Derek's legs blew Nick's legs away at all, even from the front in this show. Martin looked really, really good. Bonac and him were very, very close. We'll get to some side-by-sides of just those two in a minute. So that it was really a battle between William and Martin for third and fourth, who would be third, who would be fourth, and a battle between Nick and Derek, who was going to win. And I really want to see these score sheets because I strongly suspect Nick was closer than anybody gave him a chance. Any predictions? I didn't think it was going to be close. So, huge FB politic robbery. Nick was robbed. Nick robbed in 3. Rigged. Nick was robbed. Wow. Bodybuilding's crooked as a motherfucker. Okay, so a lot of you runs first on my album report result. No, I'm not the first, but other people. Nick was robbed. Okay, I think we've got a consensus here. Nick robbed. Nick won that. Nick got punished by the FBB for pulling out of the Olympia. I don't know about that. Derek still has technically a better physique than Nick. It's got a better shape and structure. I could have given the win to Nick, though. I really would have had no problem with Nick winning. And clearly from your comments, especially people that were reporting from the show, people that were there that I was seeing their posts online, absolute political robbing, won't be watching again. Let me go to the section of the video where it's just Nick. The final call out. We'll leave that up for a bit because they were up there for a while. Okay, so this was the absolute last call out here. Derek and William leave, and this was the very last chance for Nick to squeeze out the win, and the judges did not see it that way. But you guys have your opinions. You have eyes. Your opinions are valid. Nick, not that good. See, here's somebody who didn't think he was that good. Okay. I mean, Derek still has a better physique, better structure, better shape. The flow, you could see the lats pop out a lot more. Nick's got his waist. It's not as bad as we thought it was going to be. People were saying, "Oh, he's got this big blocky waist," and they were looking at some of the update pictures and thinking, his waist sucks." It wasn't that bad. I don't think it was that bad at all. Griff Shen, this is fucking bullshit, and every one of us knows it. Martin was Fitzwatering all over the stage. Second time I see him all sweaty. Yeah, I guess that was a judging more so than the final. Unmute. Okay, my mic's back. Sorry about that. Yeah, again, I'm trying to explain. I didn't watch the judging. I was at my son's show. I was catching clips of it all over Instagram, like most of you guys probably were, unless you got the web stream, the live stream. I should web stream. Nick robbed. How does the biggest, freakiest, most conditioned guy lose an open show? Rigged for sure. I'm just trying to play devil's advocate. I mean, Derek wins the back shots, but I don't think he won them by much. Usually he just dominates from the back. Nick really impressed me at this show. Really impressed me. You know, I strongly suspected he would be the one to push Derek the hardest, and he was. You know, Fuad was predicting Martin for the win. Of course, that's his guy. That's his athlete, hostile nutrition. But it wasn't. He was never in contention for the win. Nick, on the other hand, a lot of people were heavily leaning toward Nick. It's okay, Griff. We're all adults here. It's not a kiddie show. Nick did beat Derek. Oh. Again, I want to see the score sheets, because if it was a straight perfect score win for Derek, I'd be very surprised. I'd also be a little disappointed, because I don't think it was that decisive a win for Derek. I think Nick had him in some shots. Look at the mass differential. Nick is maybe an inch tall. He's about let's give him an inch. He's an inch taller than Nick. He's got about 30 to 40 pounds of muscle on him. Something like that. Something in that range. Complain about the gut. The gut gets handily entirely out muscles Derek. So BS. Yeah, he didn't have like a turtle shell. I mean, now I got to get rid of this ad. He didn't have a turtle shell ab or a set of abs or anything like that, guys. It wasn't that bad. It was a lot worse last year at the New York Pro, his gut. Honestly, this was much better. This is probably the best Nick I've ever seen, if not the 2022 Nick version of Nick we saw take third at the Olympia behind Hadi and Derek that year. But this was a damn good version. Nick, so much more balanced. You know, they're both very well balanced. Neither one of them really has weak points. You know, you can't say Derek's got the best back, I think, in the game right now. But Nick's back is not bad. Look at these back shots. You would expect Derek Lunsford, the king of the back shots, to destroy Nick Walker. He's not destroying him here at all. Nick is holding his own against Derek. Derek's got a little more thickness in the mid-back. I think that's what gives him the edge. And he's got a smaller waist. But, you know, Nick's back has come a long, long way. X-frame contest. Yeah, that's what Derek has a tremendous X-frame. I mean, there's a reason he won the 212 Olympia. There's a reason he won the Mr. Olympia and this Arnold Classic. He beat Samson, guys. But, you know, I love Derek. I wasn't saying I'm rooting for Nick because I don't like Derek. I like all the guys. But I was thinking, put up a vote. Oh, yeah. Can I do that? How do I do that? I think I have to do that on the live stream of this, don't I? If I want to make a poll, I think I have to go back to YouTube. I have to get out of that video. So I'm just gonna say most of you seem to believe Nick was the rightful one. They talk about Nick's legs being small and they bring them up to loose for a guy with smaller legs. That's a joke. Yeah, Nick's quads, look at that right there. Can you really tell me Nick's quads are worse than Derek's? I don't think so. Derek's quads, the way they were 8 weeks ago at the Arnold, were better than Nick's, but he lost a good amount of his quad fullness going into this show for whatever reason. I have no idea. So, you know, now we can't say Chris Aceto's a magical coach and Hani was a terrible coach for him because, you know, Hani brought him in with those downsized legs. Well, Chris just did it too. So I don't think it's something the coach is even in control of. For when he's in prep and when he's, you know, doing all the cardio and everything, I think Derek's legs just start to go away. They're not that much better than they were at the 2024 Olympia back last October. Muscle, that's me. This version of Derek beat last year's Samson. This version of Derek, does this beat last year's version of Samson? No. The Derek that won the Arnold this year, I think that beats the Samson. It already beat the Samson at the Arnold, but I think that beats the Samson that we saw win the Olympia. This version, Derek, with the flattened quads, does not beat Samson. If he comes to the Olympia looking like this, he's not getting his title back. I don't know what he needs to do. You know, I was concerned about him doing this show, you know, like him as manager or something, but I was concerned that doing multiple shows throughout the year, yeah, it's great. You're going to have this glorious year winning all these shows, but the big one is October. That's the Mr. Olympia. That's the big title that you want back, Derek. It's 650,000 last year. I bet they're going to bump it up to 750 this year. Mark my words. That's my prediction. I also predict they're going to come out with male fit model by the end of this year. Nick was impressive. Yeah, I mean, he's more than holding his own. He's pushing Derek to the point where a lot of you guys thought he won. The Tyler Manu video will show how Derek won. You guys learn how to look at poses. Yeah, these judges, I don't think it was fixed. I don't think the judges suck or they're blind. They have their criteria, and by their criteria, they're going to justify why Derek beat Nick. But I'm sure Tyler's going to give Nick a lot of credit and explain to everyone that it was very close and Nick was very impressive. The management wanted that triple crown idea. I don't think they care. Honestly, for the IFBB, it would have actually been more, let's say it would have made for a much more exciting Mr. Olympia contest in October if Nick beat Derek here. I was saying that in Power Hour a few days ago with Giles, and I still believe that. It would have been much more exciting if the underdog, Nick, came up against all odds and defeated Derek Lunsford, who was the heavy favorite going into this. But he didn't. At the end of that, so I'm going to go back to that 4-man call out that started off this guy's video while we keep taking comments. H-frame don't win from X-frame. Yeah, I mean, that's what Bob Chick said, that Nick has an H-frame. Derek does have a better frame. It's just a bone structure thing. He's got a smaller waist, very wide clavicles. Nick's got very wide clavicles. He just doesn't have that narrow waist and hips like Derek does. He's got a little wider waist. His waist looks better here than I've seen it, though, in a long time. Nick beats Derek in his best pose from the back. That says it all. I don't know if he was beating Derek in the back poses, but he was right there with them. He was hanging tight. And I would have expected Derek to destroy him from the back, because that's what he does to just about everybody. He destroys people from the back. His back shots, his glutes are always super striated. The back is so thick and dense. He's got that crazy V taper because he does have a more narrow waist. 3 criteria: size, shape, conditioning. Nick had 2 of those over Derek. Derek only had shape over Nick. I don't think he had conditioning over Nick. I mean, look there at the glutes. Nick had very good conditioning. It wasn't better than Derek's. My knock on Derek's condition is from the front. Certain areas, like, they just don't have much going on. It's the upper body from the front. There's just not a lot of separation, not a lot of detail. And I like to see more of that because I'm old. I like to see quality muscle, as we say. Every body part of Nick blew Derek out of the water. Well, he's definitely got him on arms. Derek's got some really great shoulders. I don't think either one of them has an awesome chest, to be honest with you. Neither one of them has awesome quads. I really think Nick's quads look better than his at this show. Derek has no legs. How does he win these shows? His legs looked a lot better at the Arnold 8 weeks ago, guys. They did look a lot better. You got to admit. Absolute robbery. Bubble guts can never be rewarded. Never. Well, can't argue that. Whole grain, so you're not gluten-free. I think Bonac beat Martin as well. Yeah, it was very, very close with those two. And you know what? Let me leave that up for a second. Let me put that up. The call out with Bonac and Martin, because I think that could have gone either way. I think this was a better version of Bonac than we were expecting. I don't know why we always sort of write Bonac off. But I think that could have gone either way. Bonac could have beat him. Martin's very good. Bonac's very good. Bonac brought his A game. This is the finals, so he had sharpened up from the judging. The judging, he was sweating bullets. He looked tired. Bonac very cool and composed up there. Only thing Nick got punished for is letting his midsection hang out between poses. Well, yeah, you shouldn't do that. He goons win New York and then Olympia. He go on to win New York and then Olympia. So, well, Nick's going to go on to New York, and I believe Nick will win New York for the 3rd time. That'll be his 3rd New York Pro win. Derek's not going to do. Derek's all done until the Olympia. He better not do New York. I'm sure Steve Weinberg would love for him to do the New York Pro, but Derek needs to rest. I honestly don't think Derek should have done this if he wants to be 100% the Olympia, but he wanted to be the first Pittsburgh Pro Open winner. He wanted that $100,000. He wants to do this triple crown thing, which is a Kentucky Derby. It's a horse racing reference. Happy Derek. Yeah, Derek works very hard, man. I have nothing against Derek at all. I like Derek. If the Arch muscle way swap spots, I can't believe it was that close. Derek smokes Nick in the details. Okay, well, we'll look at some of them. We'll look at that. Derek not winning in a dominant fashion makes Samson look weaker for having lost to Derek. Yeah, I mean, I could see that. Yeah, we'll go to those shots in a second. So you put them up now. What the heck? We'll pause this for a second. And we're going to put up the comparison between I'll stop this screen. Okay. Put up the comparison from Arx Muscle. Had some really good pictures of Derek and Nick side by side. Because sometimes it's hard to tell from the stream, guys. And this was a great stream. This was Gilco in 4K. But here we go. So take a look. These are Arch Muscle photos. Thanks, Dave. Dave was there. I was not, obviously. Yeah, that shot, it's kind of hard to give to either guy. I like Nick in that. Nick is just out-muscling him in that shot. See, this is what I really wish we would see more. Let me make sure this is actually on the screen. Yeah. I wish we could see more detail in Derek in this area. The arms, the chest, the shoulders. Nick doesn't have a ton either. I mean, when you look at a guy like Krizo and how detailed he is, I wish Derek had more of that. Splits and striations in there. Yeah. Front double. I mean, this is where Derek's shape and structure really shine compared to Nick. Again, Nick is out-muscling him in just about every shot. He's a bigger guy. He's freaky. He's a mutant. He's a beast. But Derek's just got a prettier shape, and he's not lacking in mass. It's not like Derek's small. Again, though, the legs were down, particularly this leg. You can see he's trying to angle it and sort of distract us with that, but that leg is definitely downsized. It's the one on the left. It's his right quad. Maybe there is some sort of damage in there. Who knows? But Nick, man, he really, really impressed the shit out of me today. All right, so right there in the back shot, this makes it clear that Derek does have a much thicker back, especially in the middle. I know the angle, Derek is a little more straight on toward the camera, and Nick is slightly angled away, so it's not a totally fair comparison, but they were on the line, and theoretically, Nick knew he was supposed to face that way. So Nick does lack in back thickness compared to Derek. I think that's pretty apparent here. And the condition, I'm not trying to justify the win, but I am trying to explain it and understand it and process along with you guys. You can see Derek's condition from the back is just lights out. Nick's got great condition too, but it's not like Nick blew him away in condition. The rear lat, same thing. He looks better. Nick looks better in the rear lat to me. I mean, it's spread out. The back looks a little thicker that way than it does when he's got it spread out in the rear double. Side try. Nick really needs to keep that gut sucked in. Try to pull a vacuum. I don't think he can pull a vacuum, but you can see Derek's got his midsection under better control. He's pulling it in, and Nick is not. So these are just little things that make a difference, because the judges need a reason, guys. They need a reason to go with one guy. When it's close, they can't have a tie in bodybuilding. I want to go to the winning video. So this is the moment. This was a moment of victory right here. Krizo, you got to watch that belly, dude. You got to keep your gut in, Michael. I love you, dude, but keep that gut in check. So this was, I guess this is Dave's iPhone. No, this is Gilco. I think this is from the stream. Why? So you can see. No, this can't be from the stream. They wouldn't have had Krizo. This is Dave in the audience with his camera, his phone, or whatever. So congrats to Nick, Justin. Yeah, good stuff. Let's get back to your comments, guys. Sorry about that. Longer he diets, he loses legs. Yeah, Derek, he may need to switch up what he uses for cardio. I mean, a lot of bodybuilders have found over the years that the step mill, the stairs, bad for the legs. They lose a lot of leg size, thickness, fullness in the quads from the stepper. It's a fantastic machine for burning body fat, but you also take the chance of burning off your quads. Derek's right bicep is a mess. I don't like his arm. I don't like his biceps. There's just no detail, no separation at all. They're just kind of like blobs. Nick needs a vacuum to win. I posed Nick tonight, but it was a battle. How was there even a tie to begin with? Oh, did they say there was a tie? See, I had the volume off. Was it a tie? So it was a tie. Who Bob hates the least contest. So did they say it was a tie, guys? I didn't get to hear the audio. I had the audio turned off. The judges sucked their pay. No, they're not paying. Derek needs to bring Cormier back for leg training. No, it's not. I don't think it's his leg training. I think it's something with his prep, because look at just 8 weeks ago at the Arnold, how much better, how much fuller and rounder Derek's quads were. Their sweep was nice and full, and it was flat here. They were flat today. Robbery, says Magos. Robbery. A vacuum. This isn't classic physique. Yeah, he doesn't need a vacuum. Nick, I don't think Nick could pull a vacuum. He's got a massive rib cage, so I don't think he's pulling a vacuum. His front double only about lats. Nick has better arms and quads. Oh, yeah. Nick has better arms than just about everybody. There's not too many people that beat him in the arms. I mean, Krizo is probably one of the only ones who can come close. Can't change the structure, but Nick was harder, more separated. Waist was tight and more muscle. Come on. Symmetry and flow might not be as good as Derek, but he has other advantages. I agree. I love Nick, but Derek is the truth. The question is this the best Nick we have seen, meaning better than the Arnold 21? To me, the best Nick we saw was 22 Olympia. I like that version of Nick a lot. Maybe this was as good. Someone will do a video with a side-by-side, and we'll figure it out. I'm not a Nick fan, but like a New York Nick. From what I saw, I'll have to look again. Yes, I would have given it to Nick. It was damn close, guys. It was damn close. I'll go back to those. Oh, I keep playing the same damn video over and over again. I think he had footage earlier. He probably did, yeah. So this was Dave's personal footage, I think, that Dave shot from the audience, looked like he was in like the third row. Way too many rounds. Nick started to let his gut hang out, which is too bad. If they had 2 or 3 rounds. Yeah, I could see they were pushing. Whenever Steve Weinberg is a head judge, he works these guys. He wants to make sure they work for that win. Sometimes when it's super close, I feel like he just wants to see who's going to drop first. Like, just pose these guys, keep posing, and see who drops. And Nick, not as polished, he doesn't have as much endurance for posing as Derek. I don't know if it's a matter of not. Good Vito would have been top 3 if he competed. No, he wouldn't have. I don't think so. I know what you're saying, Felix, but you're basing it. I think most people are basing it off that one double bicep picture that he posted like a week ago. From the back, he would have been exposed. His back would have probably knocked him out of the top 5. It's just not good enough yet. It will be. How can anyone want bubble guts rewarded? Easy win, Derek. Okay. Love how everybody's so butthurt over Derek winning. Not everybody, Mr. Busy. Not everybody. A lot of people are, but not everybody is butthurt. Derek has no quad sweep, no biceps. He looks much smaller than Nick. Yeah, he had quad sweep at the Arnold 8 weeks ago. It's gone. It's gone today. It was mostly gone, I should say. Yeah, his legs were when I first saw pictures and video earlier in the day from the judging, I was like, oh no. What did he do to his legs? What did he do? Let's see who else had stuff. There was footage all over the place. Who was the best bodybuilder? I think they had some. Beyond the Stage, they got some good stuff. Yeah, that's classic. I know Ruffin won. Glad for Ruffin. Just trying to see what else they have here. Men's physique. Nick Walker's about to explode. Yeah, Nick was just huge, man. When he breathes out, his waist, it swells out a lot. I don't know if he can do it, how much he can do about that. He's carrying so much muscle. I mean, he was 273 in his update pictures like a week ago. I bet he was still somewhere around 265, if I had to guess, and he's 5'7" on a good day. I don't know. I like Nick, but it was battle. Oh, I mean, I'm not here saying Nick was robbed. That's why I said in the thumbnail, in the title of the video, Derek won barely. He won. It was justified, but Nick pushed him hard. It was not a blowout. First time in many years, I've disagreed heavily with a judging decision. Well, Everyone from experts, fans, want to watch the show from the front seats from stream. I'll have Nick winning and still I'll be wrong. Well, I was seeing a lot of people today on social media saying they had Derek winning. I saw a lot of people also feeling that Derek was a deserving winner. It was a good split. It wasn't straight. Fans all thought Nick was going to win. I mean, clearly he's got a lot of fans now. No one's going to be calling him Nick Talker, the guy that pulls out of all the shows. And, people are saying he's probably going to pull out of this show. No, he didn't. He came back much better than anybody thought he would. He looked far better than he did last year at New York Pro. So many of Nick's body parts smoked Derek's. Yeah, unfortunately, it's not a body part contest. It's a contest about the total physique. And, yeah, Nick had that. Oh, that's a good one. There's some good footage, too. I'm surprised people were even not getting busted streaming from the frame or taking videos and stuff, because they take that very seriously at these shows when there's a pay-per-view. Benefits where I'm going to have Nick lose and then go to New York. Something tells me Nick would have gone to New York anyway. I think Nick, had he won, he still would have gone to New York. I believe he would have. Nick should have won the show. Judges really love Derek. Even Derek's quads and hamstrings are way off. B-Berry's not always switching anymore. This is bullshit, says Ian Sajor. Easy win, Derek. See, well, that's the same guy, though. You're the same guy that said that before. Nick is all hype. This guy does not like Nick. I don't know why you would say that. I think Nick was legit. He pushed Derek very hard today. And remember, Derek just beat Samson. He's still a heavy favorite to come back and win the Olympia this year in October. Nick was robbed. After the final results, man didn't look too happy with Derek's win. Oh, really? I didn't see that. Would they cut to them in the crowd or something? Martin was nowhere close to Nick. Yeah, I agree. A lot of people were speculating because Martin almost beat him last year at New York Pro, and Martin has put on some size. Martin looked good. Don't get me wrong, guys. Martin looked good, but he wasn't touching this version of Nick. He was nowhere near Nick. I think we have individual videos of all the guys. My bad. Yeah, so let me go to this. Okay. I want to go to some individual videos. All right, so this was Nick. Nick looked like a tank, man. Look at that. It's just silly, as Chris Zito would say, how big and freaky he was. He was looking pretty damn great. Bubble gut with no definition of legs. No definition of legs. He's got plenty of definition of legs. You do not like Nick, Dan. You do not. People are streaming the whole show on YouTube. Yeah, Mr. Jinx, they're taking a big chance. Trust me, because I got a copyright strike from the Olympia last year that took me a couple months to get removed. And yeah, I was streaming? I was streaming it on delay. When you're streaming something that's a pay-per-view, it is looked at by YouTube as a copyright infringement, and you can take the chance and just hope you get away with it. But you're taking that chance of having your channel not only a copyright strike, so you can't go live or anything, but you could lose your channel. People have lost their YouTube channels. It's not uncommon at all. It happens. All right, so that was Nick. Take a look at Martin, maybe. I thought Martin looked pretty damn good. Got to find him somewhere. Come on, Martin. Where are you at? Your final. Derek. Oh, these are still shots of Martin. Who? Yeah, Martin looked pretty damn good, man. I got to give him his props, because we all saw that guest posing video a couple weeks ago. I didn't think he was going to look this good. I really didn't. Martin pulled it off. I mean, but it was tough because, like I said, I'll show you. I think I'll leave up him and Bonac. I'll put him and Bonac up again. So stop screen. While we're talking, let me just present that to you guys. It was Bonac versus Fitzwater. Let's go to that for a second. I'll just leave that up while we're talking. Stream that. Okay. While we're taking your comments. Okay. Where were we? Oh boy, I'm way behind. Who do you have winning? Gosh, I'm way behind in your comments, guys. Wow. Wow. You guys are all making comments. I'm very pleased to see that. Thank you in the chat. I'm so far behind in the comments. Gosh. Way behind in the comments. Oh, was that the last one I was at? It's phenomenal, Credo train. Jeez. There's like 1,000 comments. There's only 300. There's less than 300 of you. But I think there's like 1,000 comments. For the win, bigger. God. Okay, I think I'm. Score sheets don't matter. What they said was a tie. That's why they sudden death wrong. Okay, so that gives me a lot of faith in the judges that it was a tie. It goes to show you that it was very close. It wasn't a blowout. The judges weren't really favoring Derek as strongly as some people might have thought. Scorecard's not ready yet. Yeah, butthurt over Nick Walker losing. Massimo S. Derek's polish kills Nick. Neither one has wheels from the front. Whoever's judging needs to be fired. Hey, Bob Chick, I thought you were handing second to Martin. He shouldn't have even gotten third. Nick got robbed, not even close. It's embarrassing when Derek has the sponsors and the image they want. Well, who's Nick with? I don't even remember who Nick's sponsor is. I'm not a Nick fan, but Nick definitely beat him. Nick for the win, but bigger and just hard. In person, Derek's back pops like Phil's. Derek had the better back. I showed a good side-by-side comparison of the rear double, and you can see Derek's lats are much thicker, much thicker. Nick has a pretty good back, but Derek's the thickness in his back was just much, much far superior, I should say. Look at Nick's legs from behind. The sweep is insane. Nick paid the manion so he wouldn't announce Nick first. What? I was rooting for Nick, but I understand why Derek won. I bet that scorecard is very close. Well, said it was a tie at one point, so that's as close as it can get. Look at Nick's legs compared to Derek from behind. Huge difference. Bob paid the manions. You said Bob paid the manions. I don't think Bob paid anybody. You tell by the crowd and commentary, most people show Nick. Politics for sure. Absolute bullshit. Derek must have. Oh, come on. No, he did not. Robbery. Nick robbed. Derek smoothed out. Nick just got better. People who think Nick won don't know what to look for as a judge. If Derek was 5% better, this would have been lights out. Yeah, I agree. If Derek's legs had been full like they were at the Arnold, we wouldn't even be having any of these conversations about Nick should have won. Derek's left bicep looked so much smaller on the right arm. Nick had great bicep peak. Yeah, Derek's definitely not beating Nick Walker when it comes to biceps. No, like very few human beings do. Very few. Worst decision yet. Mark's over in Thailand. It's very late over there, or it's actually probably tomorrow morning. They had a sudden death round because it was a tie, so it was close. Oh, we already read that. Nick had way too much muscle size and thickness for Derek. I feel horrible for Nick. Yeah, don't worry too. But Nick's going to go to New York 1 week from today. He'll win that. He'll get his Olympia qualification. Derek's the most boring pro out there. Well, who's exciting these days, really? Samson's Arnold version beats this Derek. Yeah, I could see that. I could see that because Derek's legs, they were a liability here. Versus Derek's physique was a better flow. Oh, no, that's Sig Romulus. I don't think too many people are going to argue that Derek has better flow, better taper, better aesthetics. I don't think anyone's going to argue that. But a lot of people would say that it shouldn't matter because Nick has so much more muscle mass. And I'm not really seeing the argument that Nick was in better condition. Condition was very close. In fact, in the glutes, if you want to just look at the glutes like it's a booty contest, Derek's glutes were far more straight. How he lose if Nick beats him? How he lose if Nick beats him at his go-to pose? What's his go-to pose? The ab and thigh? Don't play devil's get run. So that's what you see. Where's Derek beat Nick in the show? It's structure, it's shape. The only thing really Nick has him in is size. Derek has He's more gifted structurally. He's got a better natural V taper with the wide clavicles and narrow waist. Proportionally, Nick has like a longer torso and shorter legs. Proportionally, Derek does not. He's just got a better structure. His overall shape is better. Nick beats him in mass. He beats him in certain body parts, certain shots. I think Nick overwhelms him in. But all in all, I probably would have also given it to Derek. But it would have been damn close. That's the last show he will win. I like both, but I'm always going to defend the truth. Truth is Nick was robbed. I feel bad for Nick. So unfair. Vacuum pose and open bodybuilding, you should lose points. No, vacuum pose. You're saying unless you do a vacuum pose, you should lose points, because classic is where you want to see the vacuums. It's fine. It's fun to see it in open, but they don't need to do a vacuum. Nick won. I was rooting for the Martian. Robbery. You know, I should probably. I'm gonna put. Well, what happened there? I'm gonna put Bonac in. I'm gonna put the top 4 up again. The way the show started. Yeah, there we go. All right. Criteria is wide lats and a line inside quad. Yeah, that's probably pretty accurate. Nick looked incredible. Absolutely, Franco. If this isn't the best Nick, it's up there with the best Nick we've ever seen. Again, I always go back to that 2022 Olympia. I love that look for Nick when he got 3rd place. Top 3 in the Olympia, man. I mean, that's badass. That's super elite level. Walker smoked that guy. Derek can go for the Triple Crown. Rigged. Judges are blind. Oh, boy. Forgive me, Derek received the title. He was smaller and less defined than Nick. Yeah, I mean, size and condition matter a lot, but I'm not seeing this argument about the conditioning. I don't think Nick beat him in condition. You might be seeing from the front that Nick has some areas like the arms, the chest are a little bit more separated, a little more detailed. But overall condition, Derek was right where he needed to be. Crown story. I don't think they care about the Triple Crown story. This isn't horse racing. Who cares about a damn Triple Crown? Absolute bullshit decision. Good job, Derek. There you go. Complete BS. Nick win for sure. Nick looks phenomenal. Boy, oh boy. Can Krizo train to sit on abs? Nick and Bonac also abs pop, but do not track much, even though they're more compact. Yeah, Krizo's got a little bit of a bubble gut. He does. I mean, can we really ignore that? I don't think so. Get rid of that. Why don't I show the other guys? I haven't showed any of the other guys. So this was the second call out, guys. You got Krizo, you got Justin Muzel, RPG, Ron Gordon, and is that Leandro Perez, I believe. So this was Krizo's moment to shine. I'm guessing he was 5th place. So he was 5th place. So he was the best guy in this group. But I'll just leave that up while we keep taking your comments. Can't tell me of anything in Derek's. You can't tell me anything at all and say Derek won. No way, deserve this total robbery. Nick won more poses. Sorry, Nick did not. I mean, you could argue it. It's legit. I would not have been upset if Nick had won. But I've been to many a show, and I can see things from the judge's point of view. I don't think it was rigged or he was robbed. They're going by criteria where structure and shape factor heavily into the decision. Nick looked phenomenal, and he pushed Derek, pushed him hard. Junior son, thank you, man, thank you. Yeah, I wasn't going to do this, but I came home and walked the dog, and I was like, man, the show's over. I should really get on it. If that structure BS about size too, I agree. Derek's not lacking in size. It's not like Derek's small. Nick's just a freak. That sucks. Several poses appeared. Derek had no legs. Well, because right quad was much downsized. Krizo looked amazing. Yeah, Krizo, a lot of people were hoping Krizo was going to be as high as 3rd. I knew it was going to be almost impossible based on if Martin and Bonac both showed up close to their best, which they did, that Krizo wasn't beating him, and he didn't. But 5th place at this show, nothing to be ashamed of. Nothing. Hey, Derek looks small. Assuming you're talking about Nick. Derek lacks details in the front. Agreed. Legs are downsized. Derek had a great back at the front. It's just important. Well, you know what they say, shows are won from the back. I'm not saying it's because if you have the best back shots, you should win. That's what that really usually means, is that a lot of people look great from the front, but when you turn around, very few people look as good from the back as they do from the front. So if people are equal from the front and someone is better from the back, well, then they win, right? So that's when they say shows are won from the back. I think that's really what they mean. This is one of the most controversial decisions ever. But you know what? If Nick had won, I think a lot of people would have been very, very happy and very pleased to see that. But I don't think everyone would have been happy. We never have a situation where everyone's happy. There are a lot of Derek Lunsford fans, believe it or not, guys. A lot of people love Derek, love his physique. And had he been beaten by Nick, a lot of people would have been upset. So there's Bonac and Martin. Very, very close battle there between those two. Nick deserved first. It's a good thing his fans are what allow him to do what he loves for a living, not the people who run a judges contest. Muhibullah Abdurrani. Nick been punished by a B because he pulled out last minute Mr. Olympia. I don't think it was politics, guys. I really don't. Nick's legs were almost twice as big as Derek from the back. Watch Ron just agree with the judges. No, if Nick had won, guys, I would have agreed with that decision too. I think the judges do a good job. I know they can't please everybody. This time they pissed off a lot of people. A lot of people wanted Nick to win. They had him winning. I was very impressed with Nick today. I still didn't know if it was going to be enough, and it wasn't enough. I thought it was going to be enough because once I saw Derek's legs and what they looked like, I thought Nick was going to have this. And, maybe I would have voted for Nick if I was on that panel. Glutes equals more condition. Yeah, I mean, usually when we want to look at overall condition or the best condition, we go to the glutes because that's the hardest area to dial in. It's the last place the human body holds body fat. But I agree. I know what you're saying. Derek from the front, there are some very soft looking areas. His arms, like in the frontal bicep, his arms just look soft to me in general. They never look hard or separated. Nick matched Derek's back deficit separation. Nick had better arms, hammies, quads from behind, beats from back. I did show you that the still photos of the rear delt bicep comparison where you could see that Derek's back is much, much thicker than Nick's. I suspect it would have been weird if someone that pulled off from 2 Olympics to beat a former Olympian in a comeback season. I really don't think it was politics, guys. I don't. I think it's very separated from the front. What? He's got better separation than Derek in the upper body from the front. I mean, look at it. Look at right here. Watch when they hit the front double bicep. Here we go. You'll see some separation in Nick's arms. Derek's arms just have like no separation. There's just not, they're blobby. So that's what I say. People are overreacting. This was no robbery. 07J and Victor. That was a very controversial Mr. Olympia. Look at side dips and legs from the back poses. Nick destroys Derek. I mean, from the side, Nick's legs from the side, they're not lacking at all. At all. People love to rip on his quads, but his side leg shots are very, very impressive. All right, so here's these guys from the back. Let's take a look. Take that away. Yeah, I mean the quad sweep, he definitely looks better. The legs look better. Nick's legs do look better from the back. I'll give you that, guys. I'll give you that. Politics is killing the sport. They have a monopoly on bodybuilding. Strongman is growing faster than bodybuilding. It's far less popular. So how did Derek win that if his legs are worse than the Arnold? Nick's improved 100% since his last show. Derek lost and Nick beat him. Well, they're not judging guys based on their last show. They're judging what's in front of them today. I mean, that's how it should be. It shouldn't matter what you look like at your last show or some show 2 or 3 years ago versus today. Or even if somebody beat you before, it doesn't mean they should be beating you again today. Not if you look better than they do today. Nick Walker won this match. True, I didn't watch finals. He looks way better here. I didn't watch judging. I mean, I was just looking at clips on Instagram. So I'm basing most of my decision on the finals, which I don't think they changed. Bonac definitely beat Martin. Bonac looked incredible. I was very impressed with Bonac. Still Bonac. For real? Is that what that means? Everyone thinks Nick won. Type 1. Everyone thinks Derek won. Type 2. So Nick is a 1. Yeah, because I was too lazy to do a poll. Sorry, guys. I'm sorry. All right, so I see a lot of 1s. It's all 1s so far. They claim they saved Derek's legs by limiting treadmill, but obviously longer prep, more treadmill required. He had Cormier helping his leg training. It didn't matter. Whatever they did, it didn't save his legs. His legs look almost as bad as they did at the last Olympia. They don't look as good as they did at the Arnold. Look, everyone thinks Nick won. I agree. No. Nick won easy. Nick was clearly robbed. Nope. This guy thinks Derek won legit. It was overall a great show. Nick won back double easy. No. I'll show you. I got to show you this again. Not because I'm on the payroll of the judge or anything. Obviously, I'm not. I wish I was. We got some good finals from RX. RX had some good stuff there. But I'll go to this picture from RX. Yeah, so this was RX. I'm going to stop the YouTube video well, you can see right there. You can see how much thicker Derek's back is. But, Derek still didn't destroy him from the back as you would expect. He does have a better back. He does win the back shots. Although, if you look at the lower body, Nick's legs do look a lot better. Look at that quad sweep was popping out to the side there. And Derek does not have that today. Derek's great, but Nick absolutely won. If I was Nick, I would pull out of New York since we're in Bummer and go to Cali. No, why would Nick pull out? Derek, who's beating him? Derek's not going to be there. Nick's got that in the bag, I think. I mean, I don't see anybody beating Nick Walker in New York next weekend. They actually won that. Bonk should have been third. Derek's Steve Show Pony. Boy, oh boy. How much glue got left on that video, by the way? Oh, a little bit. We'll let it run. Derek is very hard to beat. Shape is super clean. Yeah, that's where he beats him. It's just shape and structure. Muscle mass, Nick beats him. Condition, I think they're about equal. John Smith. See photo of Derek with other men's winners. Small waist matters. Yeah, shape matters a lot. Structure and shape, they matter a lot, guys. There have been guys over the years who had tremendous mass and definition, but their shape was just awful, and they never did very well. Like Paco Batista was one that he just comes to my mind instantly for some reason. Derek deserved the win because he has a better physique than Nick has. Derek has more of a V taper, wider clavicles, narrow waist than Nick. Nick is more box shaped. That's basically it. If you had to explain why did Nick lose, that was why. It was God-given structure that Derek has. Nick is a tremendous competitor. He pushed. Obviously, they had to do a sudden death match to figure out the winner. So the judges clearly saw Nick as a very viable threat, and some of them probably had him winning. But it had to come down to somebody had to lose, and unfortunately today it was Nick. Everyone focused on Nick's flaws. What about Derek's smooth front? Yeah, I said that. I've said that. I'm not a fan of Derek's arms from the front. They just look blobby. There's no separation. Derek Steve's boy toy. No, I don't think so. Everybody kills me with the same Nick box shape. Well, he's a little blocky. But don't get me wrong, guys. He's got a tremendous physique. I mean, he almost beat him today. Jay didn't have the smallest waist. True. Worst conditioning in the show ever? What? Nick makes Derek look 212. Well, let's see. So Derek is 5'6" on a good day. He's probably about 235, 240. I think Nick, who's probably about 5'7", you can see he's a little taller. Nick's probably about 265 here. So he does have a lot of mass on him. Not even close. Legs are too small. Derek has a worse crab pose. I'm not a fan of that pose. Derek's legs have zero balance. Well, the right quad seems to be the one that suffered more so than the left quad. Nick has more muscle back, just overall bigger fuck flow. Yeah, some people will lean toward structure and shape and aesthetics more so in their favoritism and in what they deem as the rightful winner, and others will go the other way. Mass, sheer mass, conditioning, just brutal muscle. And Nick Walker is brutal, hardcore bodybuilding muscle mass. Absolutely. Derek had to win. It's all about the money. The Manians, they make the same amount of money regardless. Was that the end? That was the end. These two up again. Yeah, this is the matchup. Actually, let me go to Creaso. Let me go to some other guys. I got to get off here soon, guys. Creaso. Let's show Creaso. What the heck? I'm a fan of Creaso. I like Creaso. Let's take a look at Creaso, yeah, shall we? This was not from the stream. This is just somebody in the audience, but it's decent footage. So Creaso, look at those monstrous arms. Really good quads from the front. The waist is very thick. His posing just needs a lot of work. He does not look comfortable up there. It's clunky. It's just not very professional. I know he worked on his posing a little bit, but it needs a lot more work. The guy just has so much muscle. So from the back, glutes need to be a little more developed. I think they're a little bigger than they were. Yeah, you guys are going to get on me for talking about guys' butts, but we're nitpicking physiques. He's got a thick waist. He does have a thick waist. And look at why is he rotating his hands so far forward on that rear double? And you can see, look how thick his you can see his gut from the back, man. That's not good. Yeah. He just does not look comfortable up there. I'm still a Michael Creaso fan. I love the separation. Like I knew that we weren't going to be able to see on stage all those little fine details that we were seeing in the gym lighting and all the lead ups, all the updates. Still very, very detailed. I mean, compared to like Derek. Look at Derek in the crab versus him in the crab, and Creaso has so much more going on in terms of splits and striations and good stuff like that. What are you talking about, Daniel Horton? Nick's legs are higher from the back. Higher from the back? Nick has better legs. Bigger. Sorry, Nick got robbed. Okay. Nick had the overall better physique tonight. Muscle size, density is too much for Derek. Nick's legs mopped Derek's from the back. True. Derek had a little bit of hammies from the back. Nick had better separation. All valid points, guys. These are all valid points. All valid points. RX had Martin. We haven't really shown much of Martin, have we? Leave Martin up for a minute there while we take some more comments. Derek's lats in the front look to have lumps. Looks unnatural. He doesn't have those two big lumps like he had before. Those seem to be going on. So you think Derek beat Nick on a quad and hamstring? Quad and hamstring sweep size casing? No, I don't think Derek beat Nick on the legs at all today. No, I think Nick Walker had better legs today than Derek. I know you guys just want me to agree with you. Nick got robbed. Judges suck. Politics rigged, but it could have gone either way. It was a tie, and unfortunately, Nick didn't destroy Derek. Derek does have those qualities that do count. The size, the size. Nick has that over him. The structure and the shape, they do matter. The aesthetics, the flow, V-taper, and X-frame, those things do matter, guys. To some of you, they might not matter, but this is how it's judged. Nick was so much harder than Derek. In some areas, he was. Some areas, I would say they were very equal. I would say Derek won tonight. All he cared about was glutes. And back, he does have a better back, guys. He had a much thicker lats. All right, it's enough Martin. Who else we got? Bonac. Let's give Bonac a little love. Let's leave Bonac up for a minute. Bonac looked pretty damn good today. Walter Martin, IFBB Pro, doing the Masters Olympia in Tokyo. I thought Derek's legs did him in. I'm just not a fan of them. You should have won the show. Derek's legs are terrible. Robbery. Boy, oh boy. Those judges, Derek's a shoe-in for the Olympia. Just win. Back shot thickness, because overall arm, shoulders, glutes, hammies, better package. Definitely a robbery. I watched Bible shows 90s. Nick won the show. Robberies happen. Do you think overall polish, look at muscles is what won it for Derek? I keep going back to I believe it was structure and shape and aesthetics that won it. Derek Lunsford is 5'2". He's not 5'2". He's not 5'2". He's either 5'5" or 5'6". And Nick is, I want to say Nick's right at 5'7". But yes, Nick had him overpowered. Upper body. Derek's legs were flat. Total bullshit. How many times are they going to ignore Derek's soft chest? Nick's peak bicep and the rear double. Just bullshit. Nick outsized. Conditioned Derek with awesome bicep peaks. Sweeping quads, hamstrings. All right, I can see I need to go back to, who else we got? Derek. Okay. There we go. There's our boy. There's your winner. Whether you like it or not, he's our winner. Oh, put that down a little bit. There we go. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Some soft areas there, but look at that shape, man. It's a much better shape than Nick. I'm sorry. I like Nick's physique a lot, but shape and structure, Derek just kills pretty much everybody. You know, the only person I think has better shape and structure is Samson, and Samson just hasn't brought it to condition. What about Classic? Interesting decision by the judges. I didn't watch it, but let's take a look at some of that. Ruffin won. I thought Josema, from what I saw, was very close. It wasn't a blowout. I'll just do that real quick. Show Instagram. Yeah. So there's your winner, Ruffin. Man, he looks pretty damn good. Josema, I don't know if there's any comparisons here. That was Kaike in third place. Did he get third? I had him in third place going into my predictions. I don't know if is that what he ended up getting? Hard to say. I don't think they did too much with the Classic. So that was Josema, the second place guy. Jose Manuel, he's 23 years old, guys. He's 23. He's the same age as Sam Sulek. Beautiful physique. Beautiful physique. Legs a little weak in that pose. Quads, I should say. Condition was lights out. Gnarly. We need to see some comparisons with him and Ruffin, right? Let's go to who is the best bodybuilder? I think they had some comparisons between them. Yeah, here we go. Okay, yeah. So, yeah, make that a little bigger. Yeah, I mean, again, shape. I give it to Ruffin on shape. Better flow to the physique. It's a beautiful physique. They both look great. But Ruffin had him. Yeah. Why is Jose not looking at the audience or the judges? Rear double. You know what? I'm gonna give Josema that back. He's got a much thicker back than Ruffin. Much thicker. That's a crazy back right there. Condition. I think they were both kind of equal. They were both good, man, but somebody had to win, somebody had to lose. So that's what happened. They want to smack Chikrillo. Beating Derek is not easy. How is there no detail on those biceps? Unreal. And someone said Synthol. I am not saying yes or no. I don't know. Guys, calm down. Nick needs a pregnancy test. He's saying he has a big gut. Even Derek knew it. You can tell when a guy congratulates second place guy. Absolute robbery. Let's keep it. Derek's legs winning. I think only I lost two. All right. I'm going to go back to these two. I'll go back to it, and I'm going to end this, guys, real quick, real soon. So stop screen. Yeah, last thing I'm going to show. I'm just going to go back to the Derek and Nick comparisons, and we're gonna say goodbye pretty soon. I think I've said all I could say. I wasn't at the show, so I'm only commenting on what I'm watching on videos. But I hear all your points, guys. I'm not showing it. Yeah, there I am. Nick beat him in every single other body part. Glutes and lats. Nah, it's not about. Derek's legs are winning caliber, man. Derek is so overhyped. Well, first you said his legs are winning caliber. Derek is so over, and then you said he's overhyped. I'm confused. At one point, Krizo went missing. I did not know that. Where'd he go? Nick should have won. I'm not a fan of him. Let's call it like it is. If you want a kid away from bubble guts, that's why Derek gets an edge, maybe. Who did I have winning? From what I could see earlier today, I thought I had Nick winning. In the final analysis, and I'm not just saying this to kiss up to the judges because I don't really need to kiss it up to anyone anymore. I'm not going to the shows. I'm just covering it from home like all the other YouTubers now. So I could say what I want. It doesn't matter. I would still give the edge to Derek, but it was very, very close. It was very close. He barely won this. That's why I made that the title. Derek off and Nick has all-time best is enough. Yeah, I mean, if Samson's a little bit off, should he lose to guys who are in like the second call out at this show? Probably not. Nick's got too big, varicose vein, not good luck. Ryan Phil Heath easily in their day. Oh, Phil Heath would kill all these guys. How can a guy with a huge gut almost beat Derek? Derek won, mutant belly walker sucks. Jeez, guys are brutal. Ron, they just want Samson versus Derek. No, what about Hottie? Samson, Derek, and Hottie. That's going to be the battle right there, three-way battle. You know what, Elias Gazul? I do not doubt Hottie because Hottie is fresh. These other guys are wearing themselves out. They're doing all these other shows. Hottie's been sitting his ass home in Iran. Oh, man, I got to blow my nose. He's been sitting his ass home, resting up, training hard. He's going to be fresh. He's out for blood. Dick should have won. We moving on. Derek's going to have to fall out with this. His oil truck. Jeez. Obviously, I want Samson and Derek rematch. Well, they're going to get that rematch anyway. You know how PB is political. It's not like it used to be. We don't see that many bullshit decisions. I mean, if you're a fan, if you're an older fan, I should say, you can remember when things were really bad. It's not that bad anymore. Nick destroyed Derek from the back, shockingly. Smusky was night and day. Nick had enough to beat Derek. Derek lost legs. Should have penalized him for it. Should have cost him there. Nick won. Scorecard, I have not seen it. You know what? Let me see if the scorecard is out. I'd be very curious to see if it's out. Results. Ooh, it is out. It is out. Oh, okay, guys. All right. I'm going to end on the scorecard, and then I'm going to say good night. How's that? That's fair, right? So let's do that. Let's look at the scorecard, guys, and then it's going to be peace out from me. Gotta get rid of this. Gotta get rid of your last comment. All right, so here we go, guys. Scorecard time. Okay. All right, we got it. So, judging. Derek had 8 points and Nick had 7 points, which means what? That means Nick beat Derek in the judging, and then it reversed. So the judges did have Nick winning earlier in the day. Going into the finals, Derek was losing to Nick. And they reversed it by a 1 point difference at the finals, which gave them both 15. So they were tied. It was a tie, which we rarely see. So give the judges credit. If it was political, the score would be Derek Lunsford 5 for judging, 5 for finals. That's a perfect score. That means out of the 7 judges, they dropped 1 high and 1 low. It would have been 5, 5, 10. That's a perfect score on a score sheet. And it was not. You can see that, right? Yeah. So, I mean, guys, give the judges some credit, man. Fitzwater, he was 16-19. So he was beating Bonac. He beat Bonac in both rounds, but they were actually not that close. The judges had Martin winning by 8 points overall. It was 3 points. He was winning by 3 points in judging and 5 points. They had him winning far. He did look better at the finals. Krizo was always going to be at where he was. He was 5th. Looks like they were 5th and 6th. So 6th place was Leandro Perez from Brazil. 7th place, Ron Gordon. Okay. All right. Fair enough. I think that says it all. Yeah. All right. Well, that's it, guys. I'm going to take off. I've been yapping. And thank you for joining me. I didn't plan on doing this, but I got back early enough from my son's show and eating to be able to do this. So sorry I wasn't able to put up all your comments. I appreciate all of you in the chat. There were hundreds and hundreds of comments. Didn't have time to get to all of them, but this will be up. Oh, James, how much did Nick win for second place? I don't know. I know it was 100,000 for first. I bet it was like 50,000 for second. Thank you, James, for the super chat. Does anybody know? kind of too late to find out. I never saw anything, a breakdown of the prize money beyond first place. But I bet it was 50. Usually at these big shows, it's usually like right around half. So I bet he got like 50 grand. And then next week, I think is 20 or 25 grand for New York. And he's going to win that. He'll win that. Yeah. So, yeah, man. Again, I didn't plan on doing this, but I was able to squeeze it out. So thank you guys. Appreciate all you guys who joined me on the chat. And if you're watching this in replay, appreciate all the viewers. You're all awesome. Thank you so much. So that's it, man. Let me put this up again one more time. The banner. I can't get rid of the super chat because I can't find it. There's so many comments. Oh, where was it? It's way down there, right? Oh. Okay, here we go. Yeah, so that was your final score. The score sheets are up on IFBBpro.com. And again, if you look at the score sheets, now we know for certain Nick was beating Derek. The judges had Nick winning in the judging by 1 point, and then they had Derek winning by 1 point in the finals, and they were a dead tie, which we almost never see. They did a tiebreaker, sudden death match round, whatever you want to call it, and Derek squeaked out the win for whatever reason, and that's it. So thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see what happens at the Olympia. I guess it's still very far away, but my prediction, Nick Walker wins New York Pro. So thank you guys for watching. Have an awesome night.